back, everybody. This is Jackie from Bronx Baubles, and I'm super duper excited and truly pumped to provide you with this new video. This video is so exciting to me because I went through this incredible vintage custom jewelry journey, and I want to take you guys with me on that journey. And I'm hoping that you might discover something just like I did in the wild. And so come with me and share this moment with me in this incredible video. So without further ado, let's just get this video started. So picture this. I'm at my favorite honey hole, and I beelined right to the jewelry counter, and the first thing I spot was this turtle brooch. Take a look at this guy. He is just an amazing, fascinating creature. I knew he was exciting, that this is just too good to be true. The brooch was $25, which is probably the top of what I spend when I'm out there in my jaunts. But I knew that this thing was a special piece, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I just looked at it, knew that it was constructed incredibly well. I knew that the pieces were semi-precious stones, and I knew I had to have it. So, like a thief in the night, I beelined it to the cashier, and I checked out and ran like the Dickens home. And I went online and I tried to do a little bit of a search, and I really couldn't find anything. So what I ended up doing was, I'm a member of several different Facebook groups, and I would highly recommend that if you are interested in learning a little bit more about vintage costume jewelry, that you should join this group too. Not only do you learn some things, but if you have a piece that you're not sure about, you can present it to the group, and they will give you suggestions and ideas of what they think it may be. They can give you ideas of the type of stone that's used, about the construction, about the maker, about the brand, about the year, about even the country of origin. They can share with you a lot of information. And so I would suggest that you join some of these groups if you're interested in learning more about vintage costume jewelry. And even like old timers like myself who've been collecting for over 30 years, there's always something to learn. You know, vintage costume jewelry is a lifelong journey. I don't think anybody could proclaim that they're an expert, that they never need to learn anything new. There's always something to learn, and sometimes you have to relearn things because there's just so much out there. So I took this picture of my critter and his this just adorable creature, and I put him up on Facebook group, and right away I got several people who said that they believe it was an Iradj Moini. And I heard of Iradj, and I knew that that was an incredible designer. Iradj is a Persian designer who came into America in New York City in 1989, and he graduated with a degree in architecture from Buffalo, and then he started to work with Oscar de la Renta and other famous designers, and he did the jewelry for their runway shows. And then he eventually branched out on his own. One of the ladies DM'd me, and she said, you know, you should try reaching out to Iradj. He might be able to authenticate your piece. Now, you can authenticate certain pieces of jewelry with certain designers. Iradj happens to still be alive and well and alive and kicking and doing well in New York, like I am. And there are other designers who have passed on, but their archives are well alive, and people are experts who could authenticate it for you as well. And I decided to take a chance, took those pictures and send it over to Iradj via his email. And to my delight and to my surprise, he emailed me back within a half an hour. I screamed, couldn't believe that I had gotten myself in touch with Iradj. Now, before I go any further with my story, I need to share with you some of Iradj's pieces. They are incredible pieces. He does one-of-a-kind pieces. He does pieces that are haute couture, pieces that are customized, and the women that buy his pieces are women with a little bit of this, women who are celebrities, well-known, such as Iris Apfel is a fan of his jewelry, and she is my #1 style icon. So, and his pieces are even in museums, and his pieces are well known, and he's well renowned. He's an incredible jewelry designer that is very, very sought after. And if you have an Iradj in your piece, it's probably one of your highlighted pieces, because his pieces go for quite a bit of money. So take a look at this little video montage that I put together on Iradj's pieces, and it'll give you an idea of his style, the materials that he uses. He uses a lot of semi-precious stones and incredible, just incredible pieces. I mean, just phenomenal. And take a look at this video and delight in it like I do. Enjoyed that video as much as I did putting it together. So I paid $25 for Iradj's piece, and I sent him the pictures to see if he would authenticate it, and he wrote back to me within a half an hour, because he knew how much I appreciated his pieces. Was just a thrill in and of itself for me. And he basically said that it looks like one of his pieces, but the only way that he could truly authenticate it would be if I were to send it to him. So I did exactly that. And he asked me if there was anything that I wanted to have done to the piece. And to be honest with you, the piece is not perfect. He sent me back my piece, and we're going to open it up and take a look at my turtle. And this way I can share with you the rest of the story. How exciting. I feel like it's Christmas or my birthday. More unpackaging. This is my baby. Look at my baby. Oh my God, it's beautiful. I love him so, so much. Well, let me share with you some of the stones that are used in this incredible piece. The center stone, which is the largest stone that you can see, and look how, I mean, Iradj, a lot of his jewelry is made with these incredibly big semi-precious stones, and this is one of them. Now, this stone happens to have a little bit of a fissure inside. When you rub your hands in the front, and if you rub your hands in the back, you can't necessarily feel the break. The break is actually in the inside of the amethyst. And then he has here Persian turquoise colored stones. These are cabochons. And since he's Persian, I can see why he would probably have selected this, and it goes so well with the purple of the purpley pink of the amethyst. And then the eyes, his eyes, emerald cabochons. And then the rest are these rhinestones, and you have these special little rhinestones for his nostrils. And it has this cage construction that's like almost indestructible. And it's just so beautifully well constructed and well crafted. And so when he received the piece, he asked me if there was anything that I wanted done on the piece. And perhaps he might have thought maybe I wanted the body to be replaced, the shell. And I didn't. I just wanted it just as it is. And basically what I wanted him to do was authenticate the piece for me, and perhaps replace the cartouche, so that for future purposes, anyone who sees the piece would know that it was a genuine Iradj. But I plan to keep all of this documentation together with this brooch so that you can prove the authenticity of it. And so when he got the piece, he said that the way that the pin was, he had to check his archives, because it looks like it was one of his very older, one of his first pieces from the 1990s. And he started in 1989, the late 80s. So he had to check to make sure that this pin on the back was accurate for that time frame. So he said he wanted to get back to me on that. He did get back to me, and he did say it was one of his pieces. It was one of his earliest designs, and he said that it was incredibly well constructed, and it rivals pieces that are like Cartier. I can't tell you how thrilled I am about this piece. The time that he took to not only correspond with me via email, but to also go out of his way and into his archives to make sure that this was an authentic piece of his, and then to put the cartouche in the back. And he didn't charge me anything for this, although I would have been happy to pay him for his time and his efforts, and just for the history part of it. It took him no time to get this thing back to me, and I thought it was going to take him a lot longer, because I'm sure he's a very busy man creating all sorts of beautiful, incredible pieces. He did share with me that he had to glue the cartouche to the back of the head, because if he soldered it, it could crack the stones, and he didn't want to take that chance. And so he glued it. And so I'm gonna make sure I keep all this documentation together so that no one could ever question it, including the fact that the cartouche is glued on instead of soldered on. And also because of the way the pin is. I'm sure that, gosh forbid, somebody in the future might say that that's not how he used to construct this piece. And he did authenticate it, that he did do it early on in his design. And so I got this pen in the wilds at a thrift store a few months ago. I recently sent it to Iradj. Went on the Facebook group. I had these amazing people help me identify this piece. I had another great collector tell me to get it professionally authenticated by Iradj, and she gave me his email, and it's on his website too for those of you who are interested. And I had this amazing correspondence with this incredible designer. I'm so ever grateful for him. And it took this $25 piece into a $2,500 piece. With the cracked stone, I'm not sure it's gonna reach that height, but if I hold on to this long enough, I know eventually it will. And I'll tell you this much, I don't think this piece will ever leave my collection. It's the highlight of my collection, the highlight of my recent vintage costume jewelry journey. And I'm hoping that this journey that I took you on will inspire you to see if you can authenticate some of your amazing pieces. Go and seek out those professionals, those experts who could authenticate them for you. I was so lucky that Iradj was still alive and willing to take the time to put the cartouche on this amazing piece. And it went from a piece that I purchased for $25 that maybe perhaps I could have sold for $200 possibly, maybe $250, and brought it to a piece that's potentially worth $2,500. But to be honest with you, it's a priceless piece of jewelry that I don't think I would ever sell. So thank you so much, Iradj, and everyone out there who helped me. And I'm hoping with this video, it'll help you guys go out there and find those treasures in the wild. I just recently bought this, so they're out there. Go and look for them. Learn your stuff. Learn what's good to construction, because honestly, it wasn't because I knew what this was right off the bat. I just looked at it and knew that there's no way that this was not a designer piece because of just incredible materials that were used and the way that it was constructed, and just the overall design of it. I just knew that this was a special piece, and it proved to be an incredibly special piece because it's an Iradj piece. Let me know what you think of this story, and hopefully I just hope that you are inspired to go out there and find your treasure. As I started to do is share some of the books in my collection, and here is a book called One of a Kind by Susan Grant Lewin, American Art Jewelry Today. And this is an amazing picture book. Every piece of jewelry in this book is a one-of-a-kind piece. And I'm always out there looking for pieces that I think are one of a kind, because I like those pieces that just, tell you a little bit about the wearer. And these one of a kind pieces are pieces of jewelry that you could wear that show a little bit about who you are. And so these are pieces that are handcrafted, that are artisan made, that appear in major collections, appear in minor collections. I mean, this is one of my most favorite designers right here. It's Art Smith. I'm hoping to one day possibly acquire one of his pieces. And this is actually a piece that showed up in one of the books called Influx, an American Counterculture, that I have on a video that I did recently on repurposed, dual purpose, and upcycled jewelry. And so these pieces show up again from time to time. This looks like pieces that I've shown in some of my other videos. I mean, just look at them. They're just amazing, amazing pieces. Wow. And so maybe this book will inspire you to not only get those pieces that are brand name pieces, that are pieces that are mass made, and pieces that you find a lot of people wear. I mean, there's a place for those pieces too, but there's also a place for these unique pieces. And as your taste evolves, you might think that these are the most beautiful pieces out there, like I do now. And I'm always looking out for them. So, do I think this is a good book for you to purchase? I certainly think so. I think this would be an incredible book if you like if you like to look at pictures of unique jewelry. This is your book. So I scanned through some of these pictures for you to see what this book is all about. I'll put the information on the links below, and go ahead and get yourself this book called One of a Kind, American Art Jewelry Today. And Iradj does one-of-a-kind pieces of jewelry that are very distinct and unique to his style. And he likes to create jewelry that sort of embodies the women that wear them. And I am so happy to get this little guy. And please, somebody give me a name for this guy. I'm trying to think of a good name for him. And so if you have a name that you think would be cute and adorable, please let me know. And so, my friends, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Thank you for taking this ride with me. This was an incredible adventure. Friends, thank you. Con tanto amor. Give me a name for that turtle. Con mucho amor. Ciao.